where you mentioned यार कि ये जो अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन घर है ना उनका तो सेल ही बंद कर देना चाहिए. From where does it come from?
Instead of doing 5 projects, do one, no, but do it properly, do it fast.
That you are saying that the real estate for India as a developer should only be about the guys who have crores of money in their pocket.
We do not need to think about the small builder.
Yeah.
I'm very clear. We have to think about the small home buyer. For most of the projects, home prices in Mumbai will fall.
Okay.
Can Navi Mumbai be like Thane? Thane mein what was the advantage? Builders were very focused. Let's grow Thane.
And somewhere I see your feed on Twitter specifically, where I see a lot many customers engaging with you, trying to find the right answer for their home buying journeys.
Bandra has only vibe. It has nothing else.
Which two developers that you believe are doing it the most ethical way?
I like a developer in Pune, Magarpatta city ka promoter, Satish Magar. For him, I delayed my interview publishing by 2 months.
And you couldn't figure
I
it out.
couldn't find it only.
Wow.
Because I was finding it hard to believe. कुछ ना कुछ तो किया रहेगा. I actually like builders a lot.
Okay.
They do things that are really necessary for urban India.
But you said that you actually love real estate developers. And they may not actually like you the way you like them, the way you're saying. Why is it? It's a one-way love equation that I see here. Why do you think? What is the reason here?
I think most developers misunderstand me.
So welcome Vishal, and I'm really glad that for my second season or the first episode, you are the one who's gracing the couch. For me, I've been preparing what to ask you, and I've got some seriously good questions. The idea is to cater to all the real estate developers, the real estate fraternity, and the customers as well, to make them understand what goes behind all this facade that has been put out there. Okay. So, welcome once again, and let me get started with my first question. Vishal Bhargava, kaun hai? Is he a real estate critic? Is he an influencer? Is he a journalist? Or is he somebody who just hates real estate developers? And is he a great father or is he a great husband? Who is Vishal Bhargava?
Okay. So, once you told me at the start, you've come fully prepared. I'm slightly nervous now. So, between the 4 professional things that you mentioned, critic, journalist, influencer, I don't like to be called. Okay. Uska, I think there has become an influenza of influencers. There are too many of them. I think I'm a mix of a journalist plus a critic. Okay. Of the sector.
Fair.
Okay. Now, I know many people have this perception that I don't like builders too much.
Yeah.
I actually like builders a lot.
Okay.
They do things that are really necessary for urban India. They go to locations where nobody is gone, they construct things, they give homes. So, my entire aim, in a way, is that how do we bring the truth about real estate out to the common person? Because the big challenge in real estate is that there is too much of narrative and there is too little of reality. So my idea is that can we bring both of them together at a balance? So in one sentence, I'm a critic plus journalist. I'll put it that way.
Great. But you said that you actually love real estate developers. But let me tell you that the overall notion when I interact with the real estate developers, they're somewhere scared of you. Why is that so?
I think most
and they may not actually like you the way you like them, the way you're saying. Why is it? It's a one-way love equation that I see here. Why do you think? What is the reason here?
I think most developers misunderstand me. They think that I'm here just to point out their faults.
Okay.
Most of the times, Govind, you'll be surprised, people think I'm very pro-builder. Many of them. Okay.
I got to meet them. Who are these guys? Okay.
Seriously. Sometimes you see my Twitter feed.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I just say something about a project, partly complimentary, not even endorsing.
Of course.
People say I'm selling the project, I'm batting for a fraudulent builder. I think the problem isn't with me.
Okay.
The problem is with the builder. They need to grow out of this mindset that every person has to talk their language, that everybody has to be beholden to their narrative. That if you digress from that fixed pattern,
Yeah.
you are an enemy.
Of course.
In many cases, if I know something is wrong for the builder, I'm the first to point it out in the public domain without him coming and telling me.
Sure.
So, possibly, like you said, it's one-sided love. This is the Karan Johar movie, which one? Eh Dil Hai Mushkil, I think, right?
Of course.
So maybe I'm Ranbir Kapoor there and they are Anushka Sharma. But in case if they think that I hate them, I think that's a misunderstanding.
Okay, okay. No, I will definitely assure you that there's a certain breed who respects what you're doing, but then there's a lot of them. I've literally seen them, they really start shivering the moment your name props up. So I don't know what you're doing, but keep at it.
But then, Govind, in
Yeah.
front of me, this is one thing I must tell you,
Yeah.
that I get that vibe that they're very
Friendly.
polite and courteous
I've
to
seen
me.
that. I've seen that.
Yeah, you've seen that, right?
Yeah,
They're all
yeah.
polite and nice, yeah? And I'm also mutually respectful.
I just hope so. Okay, so one of the things that I was very curious about, what's your end goal? Like the start question that I asked for the introduction, one of the important parts was this guy is turning and looking like a critique to everything that's happening in real estate in a wrong way. And somewhere I see your feed on Twitter specifically, where I see a lot many customers engaging with you, trying to find the right answer for their home buying journeys. So somewhere I see there's a Masiha shaping up who is actually going to solve the problems, is going to be doing right by them by suggesting them right. There's a belief that is developing of the customers who are trying to buy a home. And they see a Masiha in you that, this guy is going to be a right guy, not going to fool us around. But one of the things that always looked like a conflict for me is you come from a journalistic background though. You do not want to be called as an influencer, as you said. Where are you heading? What's the end goal like?
That's a question my wife asks me all the time.
Okay.
Where are you going?
Don't tell me you have not figured it out yet.
No, I basically have a broad idea. See, many things, Govind, they happen. I'm like in that stage where of a builder starting an under construction project.
Okay.
I have a vision for it, but it's fungible. Okay.
Sure.
My end goal, if you were to ask me what is it, I started this getting hooked into real estate not as a journalist who was handed a beat. Most times वैसे होता है ना कि he's joined a media firm, तू real estate handle कर ले. For me, it was not that. I got in the field as a home buyer first.
Yeah.
And when I got in, there was no information available whatsoever. There was data.
True.
But we should not confuse data with information. When I went deep, it became threw up this repository of information,
Fair.
many fascinating aspects, which I'm trying to see can we create it for a wider ecosystem so that if Vishal Bhargava was to look for a house in 2030,
Yeah.
he should be able to do it like this. He should
Got
be
it.
able to do shortlist things easily.
Yeah.
He should know who's the right player, who's the wrong player, what sort of house should he be buying.
Sure.
Because those are all journeys of mine. And every home buyer goes through the same stuff. You'll be surprised, Govind, most people who ask me questions now, their question is very simple.
Yeah.
A buyer in Mumbai, he is the best buyer of India. Okay? उसका कुछ benchmark नहीं है.
True.
तू मुझे घर दे दे बस.
Of course.
हाँ, ठीक है. He's paying the highest price. उसके अलावा he says quality, he knows he'll not get it. ठीक है. Now, I don't mean to be insulting to buyers. Okay? But we should know what you're expecting.
True.
So, my idea is that keep expectations low. And then go and buy, because if it works out the other way,
Yeah.
which I'm already seeing play out, where builders inflate expectations. They show these fancy brochures, show flats, sample flats. फिर जब घर मिलता है, it's like your 10 का expectation था 5 मिल गया है.
Got it.
So my role is guide them, prepare them.
Got it. And I have a very peculiar question on what you just spoke, but I'll come to that later. Before that, I had a very important question to know your allegiance to the industry to begin with. A lot of people doubt it, right? Okay. So let me ask you, and this is a signature question on my podcast this season, which is, if you have 1 crore, you have to answer where will you put it between the multiple options I'm going to give you. Number 1, 1 crore in equity versus real estate.
So, there's no one real estate, there's no one equity. Okay, I'll give you the broad framework as I see
Yeah.
real estate and equity. If you're going and buying a home at early under construction stage, okay, early under construction stage, you have to think you're buying a small cap stock.
Okay.
Okay, it's coming slightly cheaper,
Okay.
but there's potential to make good money.
Sure.
If you buy it at a mid-level construction, under construction stage,
Yeah.
it's like buying a mid-cap stock. Okay?
Sure.
Your reward potential goes down, but your risk also goes down. And the top layer is almost at OC.
Got it.
Almost at OC when you're buying now,
Yeah.
you have to think you're buying like a blue chip stock. You're buying Reliance Industries, Larsen & Toubro, whatever.
Sure.
After OC, it's an FD.
Okay.
Utna badega. So, real estate equity depends on what stage you're getting in.
Okay.
Between the two, if you have to put a gun to my head,
Yeah.
which looking at your expression, I can sense is coming next.
It was coming next, yes.
Okay. I will say play equity. And
Okay.
the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Play real estate only. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Should you buy an apartment, buy a listed player,
Yeah.
or should you buy a stock? Every player,
Yeah.
okay, every player,
Yeah.
without an exception,
Yeah.
if a buyer has bought the apartment of the builder
Yeah.
versus not buying a stock,
Yeah.
he's lost.
Okay.
In some cases, forget losing against equity. The price he bought the apartment at, the price today is lower.
Of course.
Okay, so between the two, equity, but it's stage to stage. What stage you get into buy?
That is true. So for here, you're summarizing it as equity to begin with.
Yes.
Am I right? Okay. So now let's take this question forward. 1 crore in Bangalore or in Bombay?
Any day, Bangalore.
Okay. And where do you believe, which areas in Bombay, in your context from your last tweet that I read, Bombay is the area which is coming after the Worli ceiling and उससे पहले मुंबई है. चलो क्वेश्चन को अगर मैं चेंज कर लेता हूँ, मुंबई एंड बैंगलोर, will your answer be still same?
No. Between Bombay and Bangalore, by Bombay,
Fair.
I mean South Bombay,
Yeah.
and I will choose South Bombay.
Okay. And now I wanted to get to two important locations which have been doing tremendously well for the MMR Mumbai market. Kandivali and Thane, 1 crore. Where would you put it?
Thane.
Okay. In Thane, 1 crore in a branded developer or in a non-branded developer, दोनों में difference 100 square feet का carpet का है. Where will you put it?
I will take a branded builder. See, unbranded का problem क्या है? ठीक है? Most unbranded builders ना, they negotiate in a very different way, and that's a strategy that, it's a very menacing strategy,
Yeah.
right? Because the unbranded guy has nothing to lose यार.
Sure.
उसका प्रोजेक्ट अटक भी जाएगा ना,
Yeah.
गोविंद विशाल कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे.
Sure.
He doesn't have a reputation to lose. I will go with a branded builder, but like I said, in Mumbai, if you have to buy an apartment,
Yeah.
you must be prepared to be disappointed.
But tell me one thing. Are you saying the customers who are looking for their dream homes, 1 crore and 100 square feet of a difference in carpet, you're saying, should I compromise with my size of the apartment for my lifetime for the next 10, 20 years? Just because, the whole narrative is that the branded players are the only one who will deliver quality and they will deliver. Shouldn't I look at it differently that I can have a home for next 20 years which is 100 square feet more, that may give me an opportunity to never shift to a new home maybe, because 10 years on the line you start feeling कि अरे घर छोटा ले लिया, right? So how do I make a decision if I'm a home buyer?
The trade-off is this. Do you want a bigger home
Yeah,
on paper
Yeah.
than a smaller home in reality?
sure.
A branded versus unbranded, unfortunately,
Yeah.
the debate is, like you said,
Yeah.
that perception is there कि branded developers में बहुत safety और unbranded में safety नहीं है.
Sure.
But when a home buyer is taking a bet,
Yeah.
he's putting all his money, right?
True.
He will want that safety and a big margin of safety. So 100 square feet he'll say मैं compromise कर लेता हूँ.
Got it.
घर तो मिलेगा.
Understood.
At the same time,
Yeah.
he knows उसको जो 100 square feet कम घर मिलने वाला है ना,
Yeah.
the quality difference between a branded and unbranded will not be very different. If both of them complete the project.
Sure.
I've seen both of them, and if you take out the board outside,
Yeah.
you will not be able to guess whether it was done by a branded builder or an unbranded builder.
So Vishal, one of the signature questions that I have prepared this season is to do with, अगर आप 5 steps में बताओगे कि आपकी लाइफ में ऐसा क्या क्या हुआ जिसके वजह से you've reached where you have. What are those 5 important steps or events that shaped you to who you are?
So this is an accident, Govind.
Yeah.
Me being what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I probably would never have started doing this even though I was looking at real estate as an observer.
Sure.
So it is a mix of accident plus certain circumstances popping up. My idea was never to be into a real estate journalist as such.
Okay.
I had another operation running. I was talking to Network 18 about some other business deal. In that time, I complained that, the coverage is pretty shallow.
Okay.
So the editor threw a challenge. He said, okay, you do it and show me.
Sure.
And then it just took off. I think has shaped my thinking a lot is my role as an analyst. So before this, I was in finance and media, tracking different sectors, of course. But it gives you a peek into how to judge a sector. Any sector, go deep.
True that.
I think third biggest part was my journey as a home buyer. Okay. That has to be the most important reason why I'm really so curious and passionate about the sector.
Did you face any problem, or it was too good to be true for you?
No.
Not for others.
Like I told you, Govind, in life, real estate khareed raha hai na, under construction, be prepared to be disappointed. But see, again, it's luck. Okay.
Sure.
I just got lucky that at that time something was there which was almost ready. I got in.
Yeah.
It yielded a handsome appreciation because I happened to be in the right place. That's all.
True.
There's no skill involved there.
Of course.
I'm sure my experience talking to most buyers na Govind is that if a person has taken 3 bets in real estate, at least one is screwed. Okay?
Sure.
Okay? At least one. Unlucky ones, and I basically know some on Twitter who have had 3 out of 3 unsuccessful ones. But 1 out of 3 to confirm hai.
Got it.
So you have to just make sure that 1 out of 3 isn't your biggest bet.
Got it.
And fourth is getting into this entire platform that is opened up, right? Of content.
Sure.
Where one side is dominated mainly with showing homes.
Yeah.
Okay. The other side, there's not too much activity if you look at it in real estate.
Where you can go into the depth and discover the new facets, which are not usually being discussed, but they are very important, of course.
So that's when you asked me, do I want to be called an influencer?
Yeah.
One builder told me a very good dialogue. He said, Vishal, the problem in real estate is that most influencers are actually brokers who know how to use social media.
Got it. Yes.
Influencer typically is somebody who does not have that much, who does not have skin in the game, where he's dependent on the industry to feed him.
Of course.
So
that way they will always remain biased.
Which is always the case.
They might influence in the wrong manner. True that. But I've always believed that, those kind of narratives are going to be a lot more short-lived compared to the one who come with a little bit of a depth. And that's the reason I've always believed in what you have been doing. If you look at the journey of 5 to 6 to 10 years, these people who are converting themselves from just broking to influencing, they're going to find a little bit of a struggle to sustain themselves. While on the other side, this other opportunity which you are chasing, I believe there's a lot of depth possible and the shelf life is going to be pretty long. There's a tweet that you had mentioned about, and a lot of financial influencers keep talking about, which is the price bubble narrative. What and why do you think this price bubble is all about? I wanted you to spend some time talking about it.
So see, Mumbai is a very different type of a bubble.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not that Mumbai is expensive only today.
Yeah.
It's been expensive for the last 200 years. Because Mumbai has had that culture of industry, commerce, risk-taking, speculation.
Yeah.
And speculation ka thing in something like real estate is, once it goes up at an obscene level, it does not come down to that same obscene level.
True.
Okay? Because there are enough stakeholders who are willing to sit on it and be relaxed at it.
Of course.
And because it's not liquid, like a stock,
Yeah.
you are not noticing its fall.
Yeah.
You just say, I sit back at it.
Of course.
Builders have found a very good way around this sort of a quasi-bubble, if you call it, in terms of pricing. They've introduced what is a term that people call millennial homes, smart homes, nano homes.
Yeah.
कि मैं affordable कर रहा हूँ.
Of course.
कैसे affordable कर रहा हूँ? Per square feet rate same रहता है. Per square feet is same.
Size छोटा हो जाता है.
मैं छोटा कर देता हूँ. 2 BHK from 800 I made it 500.
Sure.
Okay. There's a 2 BHK of 330 square feet also, by the way. Okay. So that boosts affordability.
Yeah.
So the bubble has, in a way, remained.
Yeah.
The ticket sizes have changed.
Got it.
So the question is, how long can this continue in a city where now migration is stopped? This works when migration keeps happening. Because people are willing to compromise. No? Abhi now either the youngsters don't want to stay in Mumbai.
Of course.
They look at their lifestyle in Bangalore, Gurgaon. No, एक जगह में पानी नहीं है, एक जगह पे it has other safety concerns. But also they think it's worthwhile to shift there.
Of course.
Will this the next leg of demand,
Yeah.
will that remain? That is the key question. And I have a feeling it will not. I have a feeling we are now on that cusp where that structural strength that was there to push Mumbai,
Yeah.
that is losing its sheen just because of sheer demographics and migration.
So I have a feeling that my next question that is coming to you, I already know the answer to, based on what the last statement that you gave. But let me ask the stereotypical question. What do you think the prices of the real estate are going to go up? Are they going to go down?
For most of the projects, home prices in Mumbai will fall.
Okay.
It's in a way you can couch it in different terms, but broadly the reality is, let's look at the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Okay. I call it the lower parallelized effect,
Yeah.
which is basically too much supply
Yeah.
and there's not enough demand. There's not enough demand for it. So what happens? People find ways to incentivize the buyer.
Sure.
I think we'll see the same thing now happen across Mumbai.
Yeah.
Supply is up 6 to 7x.
Okay.
There is obviously not that much demand. Okay.
Okay.
One leg of demand, which people had thought that they will be a buyer, that is gone because of redevelopment only.
Okay.
मेरे पास खुद का घर था.
Yeah.
I was thinking of buying a home next to me. अभी मुझे free में मिल रहा है ना वो. I don't
Sure.
need to buy a home.
Of course.
So I think demand is going to be tough. It's already started to show that trend. Sales cycle has widened. I see some discounts appear.
Yeah.
The big worry for me is that I hope builders don't make the mistake that they did last time.
Yeah.
कि दिखाना है नहीं prices have not fallen, prices
Yeah.
not fallen. But I'll tell you, Govind, the locations where prices will go up.
Mm-hmm.
Seafront properties. That's like the
Because the old inventory is very scarce, limited, and
old
there's a demand.
Yes.
Pan India.
And old inventory is now finally getting redeveloped. The
Sure.
big problem of seafront was the norms.
Yeah.
CRZ norms did not allow you to get them redeveloped.
Of course.
Now they've got liberalized. So we will see tall, fancy amenity buildings on the seafront. At Worli Seaface, at Bandra, at Carter Road.
Of course.
Those, I think that will be a different market. There
Understood.
will not be 25 transactions also that way, but those prices will go up for all the rest.
Of course.
If you are doing a random product, you should be prepared for
Got it.
a big price war. Whether you want to couch it in different terms, a price war is imminent now.
I am going to look forward to that, though I may have a different point of view, because see, you got to understand at the end of the day, just like the last 10 years, one thing is for sure, the GDP is actually going to grow towards the larger side of the narrative, hitting a 7 trillion, 10 trillion. A major rub-off will come to the real estate as a focus. Yes, you are right that the redevelopment is a phenomena, people not buying anymore because they are getting an opportunity. That's a smaller subset. There's a larger subset of the people who are getting richer. Though that money lies in their paper value, like, Bangalore, Nikhil Kamath had mentioned that a lot of ESOPs distribution that really happened, a lot of millionaire came in. The speed with which the India is producing millionaires and billionaires as well, that is increasing. So I'm going to remain bullish on that side of the narrative. Let's see where it goes.
That's a fair counter argument.
Yeah.
The only worry in that is that these guys who become millionaires, okay, if you're saying that they're going to high ticket size items, they'll most likely wait till completion or close to completion, right? There's no reason for me to buy so early when there's so much supply, right? At that point, a guy who is bought at a very high inflated price for land in redevelopment, or who has a ticking time bomb in the form of debt interest, what will he do?
That's true. That's a cycle that we have seen, at least for Bombay. A lot of other cities will witness it.
The well-leveraged guys maybe are fine.
Yeah.
But I don't think now we are in that stage where at least the smart builders think कि मेरे को मेरा ही price चाहिए. I think they have learned to a large extent.
I was reading, I was just going through my Twitter timeline, and there's a tweet that popped up, which had Rakesh Jhunjhunwala in 2014 giving an interview, and he said, if 16th May the BJP government is coming, we will see the largest bull run possible that share market has ever seen. And this bull run will last for 7 to 10 years. 2024, when we are sitting today, he is no more. But his words stood correct. The narrative, what I'm trying to rub off, is on the real estate side. If you really look at it, most of the people who have made mistakes are the places where they have put money in real estate onto already expensive location investments Suppose I'm investing into Bandra, 70,000, 80,000 square feet. 5 years down the line, even 20,000 square feet escalation happens. That would be around 40%, 30 to 40% of increment. But then there are multiple locations in Bombay where you can enter at 10,000 square feet. A 10,000 increment over the 5 to 10 years, it would be 100% increment onto the appreciation. One of the largest problem that I have felt where the financial influencers largely have been going wrong, they are not talking about these value chains. Don't you think these fundamentals too are something we need to talk about to the home buyers? Because they usually do not think in these terms. It took me a lot of time for me while I was working in real estate to stumble upon this basic maths. Well, I believe that I've been good at maths, but then I also have missed out. And recently I saw Nikhil Kamath quoting that, hey, the real estate yields are only 2 to 3%, so why should I just rent? I am pretty sure that he's doing it to put the investments in somewhere else. He's influencing people. But why is he never talking about appreciation? I don't get it. And he keeps talking about inflated prices as well. But there are locations, aren't they, where you really put the money and you can really see your money growing much faster. So the real estate cycle, yes, definitely it might have seen the dip, but hasn't it been the scenario that if you really look at a compounded 20, 30 years, overall returns have been pretty good when you wait long enough? So where is the problem?
So where is the problem is you have to know where the, like I said,
Yeah.
real estate is migration, migration, migration.
True that.
Why did Mumbai see that explosion in 2000s?
Fair.
Series of factors came in,
Yeah.
one of which was migration, two was textile lands opening up, financial markets taking off, so on and so forth.
Sure.
When did like a market like Chembur pick up?
Yeah.
Eastern Freeway came up, opened up the entire place.
Of course.
Okay. My worry is that now in Mumbai you don't have any big triggers as such.
Yeah.
Okay. Barring coastal road aayega, but it will connect to many places. Metro
Yeah.
will connect to every place. So there's a possibility that metro will normalize prices across the city.
Yeah.
Okay, to an extent. To the point of location, newer locations.
Yeah.
There I agree with you.
Yeah.
The opportunity is there.
True.
You go to Navi Mumbai.
Of
okay.
course.
There are opportunities.
Yeah.
There my big worry is that builders are screwing it up.
Okay. Okay.
Let's look at Powai.
Yeah.
Okay. 1980s, late 1980s, early 1990s. Price of Powai used to be about 1/5 of or 1/4 of a developed market. Close to it.
Yes.
Now when I go to Panvel, ठीक है?
Yeah.
मतलब एयरपोर्ट बना नहीं है.
Yeah.
ट्रांस हार्बर खुल गया है पर ज़्यादा गाड़ियाँ तो है नहीं.
Yeah.
ठीक है? Before that happening, prices in some parts of Panvel are at a 20% discount to developed markets like Mulund.
Of course.
So builders have already priced in the appreciation.
Of course. It will take 10 years for customers to actually break even to the new
Why will you
price
do
that
it?
they're buying it.
And Panvel may, unfortunately, some of my distant relatives have bought and they're regretting it, of course.
Got it.
Abhi, what should have been the initiative of Navi Mumbai at this time? ठीक है?
Yeah.
Trans Harbour बन गया,
Yeah.
एयरपोर्ट आ रहा है,
Yeah.
रेल वेल का ठीक है प्रोविजन ऊपर नीचे है, पर at some point it will come to its logical conclusion, right?
Fair.
You should make it attractive for people to migrate.
Sure.
First come people,
Yeah.
ठीक है? Infrastructure comes second, then comes third social infra.
Yeah.
थाने का तो अभी तक social infra is still poor ना,
Yeah.
but 20 साल से बन रहा है वो, correct?
True that.
So the idea should have been, let's get people over here. They make the city.
True that.
Rather than thinking कि नहीं मेरे को सिर्फ 14,000 rupees per square feet चाहिए.
Got
Where am I? I'm in the middle of nowhere. यहाँ पे village है, यहाँ पे garden है, मतलब forest है in a way.
Of course.
Highway.
Yeah.
So I think the opportunity is there, but builders are not letting buyers have that opportunity to come and make money. They have not left much on the table. They're like an investment banker who has priced the IPO so expensive
Yeah.
कि investor has to sell on listing. That's his best bet.
I got it. I get that part as well, no doubt. But I will actually also address the part that because this trend has lasted for 10, 20, 30, 40 years and the customers have benefited, now this generation of developers are thinking that why not leverage a little bit of the profit, which always shifts to the customer, or to a little bit to our side. What is it? Is it really wrong? Because one thing is for sure that the areas which are doing, let's say when you said Panvel, right? Whatever the prices are, with the basic trends, they will have a double value change in the 7 to 8 year cycle, which would make it compete very easily with equity market or any other share market or the mutual funds. So why wouldn't developers want to take a little bit of a profit back home by ensuring that they end up delivering better? Because they are making sure that cash is getting conserved by them. They make fair profit. they remain in the business. They invest more in the land parcels because land parcels are also getting expensive day by day. And they also have the appreciation angle already aligned into it. It is not that you can buy a land the way it was available before. Now, the same maths work into the land buying as well when the developers are buying. So, is it really bad to do business as a profit in mind? Is it too bad? Because customers are getting their homes, they're going to stay there, they're going to save on rent, they will have the appreciation, maybe not in the first 5 years, but maybe later. Is it that wrong?
No, it's not wrong.
Yeah.
Means builders, perhaps in their wisdom,
Yeah.
they think they're doing the right step.
Fair.
I'll disagree with the part of fair profit. Okay.
Okay.
Because in some locations of Panvel, even before the Trans Harbour,
Yeah.
the rates were pretty close to what are mainstream rates of Bangalore. Okay.
Got it.
So if intrinsically there's nothing there, right?
Got it.
क्या है वहाँ पे? मतलब 5 years back if I asked Govind,
Yeah.
वहाँ पे क्या था? मेरे को बता पनवेल में क्या था? कुछ नहीं था.
Of course.
If I went over there, एक था वड़ा पाव guy who's a famous guy,
Yeah.
has to go there. Okay.
Yeah.
और कुछ नहीं था वहाँ पे.
Got it.
There were buildings coming up. Right now, so when I see, when I pass by or visit some of the projects, buildings are built. It's a ghost town. So, builders are right. ठीक है, I want so and so price. Below that, I will not go. But you're just delaying the creation of a new city. So, I'm looking at a slightly bigger perspective that don't look at just a builder ka profit. Can we see New Bombay become a full, vibrant city? And I think there's a big opportunity. Can Navi Mumbai be like Thane? Thane mein, what was the advantage?
Yeah.
Builders were very focused. Let's grow Thane.
Of course.
Now you are telling me Thane ka location.
Yeah.
Okay. The one of the buildings where actually we first met.
Yeah.
At Rustamji Urbania.
Yes.
Okay. Uska rate
Yeah.
last year or the year before that we met
Yeah.
is the rate of one project which is not in Panvel
Yeah.
but ahead of Panvel.
I understand.
Why will someone migrate?
Of course.
And then builders say, अरे नहीं, response इतना अच्छा नहीं है Trans Harbour खोलने के बाद. Boss, it's not the problem of Trans Harbour.
It's the price.
Problem तेरे में है.
Got it.
Smell the coffee, change.
Got your point. Okay. So now, while we are discussing this, one of the important and interesting questions that I could frame and could think of, I'm a customer. Let's say, I'm taking Mulund as an example. Or you can take any other catchment as well. But if I have a choice to buy, or you have a choice to suggest me that, यार मुझे एक standalone building में घर लेना चाहिए, या एक mixed development में लेना चाहिए, or a township that is coming in Mulund, or any other area, how should I make my decision when it comes to these fundamental questions? Yes, as a family person, I have seen that मेरे लिए township शायद अच्छी है, but then mixed developments or standalone towers, they don't hold any virtue. How do I make my decision making in the right, correct sense? In the long run, for a city like Mumbai, which has made many people millionaire by the sheer understanding of redevelopment, how do I make my decision today, keeping all these things in mind?
So Govind, I'm a big believer that a buyer today, especially if he has a family,
Yeah.
he should go in for a township.
Okay.
Okay. And there's one very simple reason.
Yeah.
That Indian cities are Ram Bharose.
Got
Okay.
it.
We have gotten so entrenched in corruption and misgovernance
Yeah.
that the cities, it's collapsed.
Got it.
And it doesn't seem that these cities will improve their governance.
Yeah.
So if you want a quality life,
True.
and by quality, even over there, I mean very simple thing, right?
Yeah.
Mumbai में outside your office,
Yeah.
that is a very fancy office that you have here.
Yeah.
बाहर जाऊंगा फुटपाथ नहीं है. ठीक है?
Sure. Sure.
ठीक है. अभी now it started raining.
Yeah.
I'm sure big potholes will appear.
Of course. Of course.
So if you want a quality experience,
Yeah.
you have to submit yourself in a way to a private builder who has a big, large land parcel,
Got it.
who will be reasonably accountable to you.
Of course.
So between standalone and township, always choose township because I don't see civic governance improving in Indian cities.
Yeah.
And I think to a large extent, while there's a lot of corruption in them, builders I think are responsible to an extent that they have made municipal bodies complete parasites.
Of course.
सर आप रोड मत बनाओ because they're so fearful ना.
Yeah.
म्यूनिसिपल बॉडी रोड बनाएगा ना पूरे गड्ढे हो जाएंगे बट मेरा अप्रोच शुड बी गुड आई डोंट ब्लेम देम बिकॉज दिस इज नॉट देयर जॉब बट दे नो बिकॉज दे वांट टू अट्रैक्ट गोविंद एज अ होम बायर आई कांट बी शोइंग अ पॉट होल डर्टी मेसी रोड सो दे टेल द कॉर्पोरेशन आप मत बनाओ मैं बनाता हूं एंड ग्रेजुअली व्हाट हैज हैपेंड टू द म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन कुछ नहीं करना है बस एफएसआई बेचो एंड आउटसोर्स गवर्नेंस टू बिल्डर्स
Of course. So Vishal, based on your question, right, I had a very interesting insight. One of the developers I was doing a discussion with, उसने मुझे बोला यार कि MCGM ने एक पार्किंग का एक एलोकेशन शुरू किया था कि बिल्डिंग्स जो हैं वो अगर वो पार्किंग स्पॉट्स दे देती हैं पब्लिक पार्किंग के लिए तो दे विल गेट अ सर्टेन बेनिफिट इन FSI. He said it's good as a developer I save money and it's a very great value chain and one of the largest developer in India. He leveraged it in multiple projects. Now that scheme is no more there, but he told that उसने खुद ये स्कीम नहीं ली. उसने एक बेसिक क्वेश्चन पूछा कि अगर ये पार्किंग स्पेस को मैंने बनाया तो चलो प्राइवेसी सिक्योरिटी आर अ डिफरेंट कंसर्न बट एट द सेम टाइम हमारा जो मुंबई का एक होम बायर है वो एक रियल एस्टेट को इंटरजनरेशनल वेल्थ के फॉर्म में भी देखता है कि व्हाट आई एम इन्वेस्टिंग टुडे टुमारो आई विल गिव इट टू माय किड्स और इट विल ग्रो ऑफ कोर्स बट आई विल गिव इट टू माय किड्स एज वेल पास ऑन टू देम. इन दैट सेंस हम लोग को पता है वैल्यू रीडेवलपमेंट की. इस बिल्डिंग का फ्यूचर क्या होगा किसी को आइडिया नहीं है कि जहाँ पे पार्किंग स्पेसेस कॉमन बन गई है 10, 40, 50 years व्हाट विल हैपन. Don't you think when you're suggesting customers to buy home into township, which is good short term, it is really needed because you need an ecosystem of your own, very well said. बट अगर मैं अपने इन्वेस्टमेंट के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से इसको देखूँ, इंटरजनरेशनल वेल्थ के पॉइंट में देखूँ, doesn't it mean my investment into a standalone or a mixed use development could be giving me a better prospect in terms of how my investment does in a span of, let's say, 30 to 40 years? Should I look at it? Should I not look at it at all? How should I really behave? Because मैं यार इंडियन कंज्यूमर हूँ at the end of the day. मुझे ये तो देखना है कि मैं बच्चे को शायद पास करके जाऊँगा. कोई तो कुछ तो बना रहा हूँ. स्टॉक का पता नहीं, पैसे का पता नहीं, पर यार एक घर जरूर मिलेगा मेरे बेटे को. उस पर लड़ाई भी होगी, दो बच्चे झगड़ेंगे भी. But this is what I'm going to give.
So see, if it's a township project, firstly, I think it's a very good question. And the thought of the builder keeping a long term, it's one has to appreciate that sort of futuristic thinking. See, most guys, ये public parking का जो scheme है, BMC का, you know, I have noticed one approach of between BMC and builders.
Yeah.
BMC gives you a lot of sweeteners.
Yeah.
Okay. But most of the people who consume too much of the sweetener, they get diabetes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example with regard to the public parking only.
Sure.
People who took the public parking facility, it means I get greater FSI. Greater FSI means I have to go taller.
Yeah.
Taller means my cost of construction has gone up higher.
Go up. Yeah.
The viability of many projects does not sustain.
True. That.
Okay. So one is this public parking doing it at a very strategic level. Should I go for this high FSI bonanzas, you know?
Yeah.
Which is one of the weaknesses. It's like for people like you, if the one word that gets you excited, what is it? Marketing, right?
Yeah.
For a builder, what is it? FSI. It's like, you know, the earth has given you angels and all.
Of course.
Okay. So regarding the parking part, I don't think we should look at it with too much concern because I don't think now we can go too much higher than where we are in terms of height.
Okay.
जिसका building बन गया ना, public parking वाले का, if you are giving, most likely you're building 60 floors plus.
Yeah.
Given the FSI initiatives that are there. Some locations is different maybe because
True that.
But broadly the ones that you're referring to, they are in the belt of worldly, lower parade, etc.
Yes.
Conversely, in a standalone building,
Yeah.
okay, standalone building ka, I see no appeal. There is nothing really there, no? It's just a home.
True.
There's no lifestyle, there's nothing. The benefit, like you said, maintenance kam hota hai.
Yeah.
Lesser number of people, privacy, if you're one of those.
Yeah.
Okay. The only locations which matter in terms of standalone buildings, where I see some value,
Yeah.
if you are in like a Malabar Hill, if you're like in a Bandra.
True.
Malabar Hill to theek hai, South Mumbai hai, to it's better treated, okay?
Yeah, you have got some sweet spot for Malabar Hill that I'm aware about.
No. So in fact, I'm one of the guys who keeps pointing out the Malabar Hill prices have not risen, they've fallen because the city has moved north, okay?
Of course.
But there's a certain appeal to it, right?
Of course.
Garden hai, clean, green. Now Bandra, let's be honest. क्या है Bandra में?
Yeah.
क्या है Bandra में? Plots are small.
Of course. Roads are not there.
Roads are not there. Footpaths, so everybody knows.
Yeah.
Buildings are ugly as hell.
Yeah.
ठीक है? And you're charging 50,000 rupees per square feet. Why?
But it has Shah Rukh and Salman there. You got to get that.
हाँ, so शाहरुख and सलमान तो दूर से देखना वाले तेरे घर तो नहीं आ रहे, गोविंद के घर नहीं आ रहे. You can see them from a distance. You take a drive every Saturday.
Of course.
ठीक है?
Of course.
So the appeal is the vibe. Bandra has only vibe. Now I stayed in Bandra many years back at Pali Hill, and it was good.
Yeah.
But if you ask me, is there a wow thing about it?
Yeah.
After a while, some locations become status symbols.
Yeah.
उनके लिए standalone ठीक है.
ठीक है.
Because the pride is not in the building.
It's the location, of course. I understand.
C and all is there, but C के लिए there's so many other locations, no?
And that would be what? What would be the alternate location to a Pali Hill in Bombay that you believe that is better?
So I like Worli Seaface.
Okay.
Okay. I like Nepean Road.
Okay.
Pedder Road I used to like earlier. Then these two locations, Cuff Parade.
Okay.
Okay. All of these are far now.
Of
People in
course.
the last 10 years probably have not visited Cuff Parade, many of them, right?
I know
क्यों
that.
जाना है वहाँ पे?
Bilkul.
It's like a retirement home, na?
Of course.
So, but those would be locations I'll be open to because mine is a field job.
Of course, yes.
If I had my office in a location like yours,
Yeah.
obviously I can't stay there.
True.
Like यहाँ तक पहुँचते I will get body massages if I'm coming by train or I'll be stuck in traffic all the time.
No doubt about it. No, that is brilliant. I now wanted to come to a very important, since you talked about Bandra some time back, you got a viral narrative around Andheri, right? So I'm going to come to another viral narrative of yours, where you mentioned यार कि ये जो under construction घर है ना, उनका तो sale ही बंद कर देना चाहिए. From where does it come from? Why this? Is there any insight behind it? Why do you believe in this statement?
No, there is insight behind it. Means
Yeah.
at least from
Fair.
my dispassionate eyes, if I can put it that
Okay.
way,
Okay.
I think there is merit behind it. See, under construction apartments का problem क्या है? You are asking, okay, an under construction project by a builder
Yeah.
is like taking an F&O trade. F&O trade क्या है?
Yeah.
Futures and options. मेरे पास है 10 करोड़,
Yeah.
मैं ले रहा हूँ प्रोजेक्ट 100 करोड़ का.
True.
Okay. The difference between the downside,
Yeah.
upside में तो ठीक है, everybody makes money.
True that.
Downside पे stock अगर टूटता है,
Yeah.
who bears the consequences? Okay.
Of course.
In the trader,
Of course.
पैसा गया.
True.
Strangely,
Yeah.
for a builder, when things go wrong,
Yeah.
the biggest victims are the home buyers.
True.
Okay. Second are maybe the lenders.
Yeah.
So why should, in a society like India, where our judicial process is so slow,
Yeah.
where the punishment is the process, na?
Of course.
You can tell him I'll take him to court.
True that.
That's the first point. Second point is, it's a very peculiar industry wherein this is the level, okay?
Yeah.
Before the sale, okay, the balance is a bit like this.
True that.
This means the buyer is on top
Okay.
and the builder is down. He's attracting you.
Yeah.
The moment you do the sale, it becomes an even balance.
Okay.
Okay? Both are same page. Buyer, builder.
Yeah. This.
Moment you reach plinth, okay? By plinth, just for your viewers, we're talking ground.
Yeah.
ठीक है? Basement सब हो गया. Your ground. A builder can ask a buyer to pay 45% of the agreement value.
True that.
Now suddenly, when at that plinth stage you make that 45% payment, you are no longer the king. Okay? You have paid 45% to the builder, you have done stamp duty. Half the money is there in the project.
Of course.
You are at a very unique position where एक slab बना नहीं है. But suddenly, you have more skin in the project, you have invested more in the project than the builder.
Of course.
He has all the power, then he can do what he wants.
That is true as well, but then there is a perspective on the other side, which most of the times the customers are missing, and maybe that is the conversation I wanted to have with you. If you look at it, for investment of this quantum, you definitely, either you're going to go lend the money, if the real estate developers are going to sell only at the time of possession, 2-3 challenges are there. I wanted to understand what's your viewpoint on it. One, if the money is not going to come from the customer, it's going to come from the bank or some lender. If it is coming from the bank or the lenders, there will be interest rate on it. That will make the real estate more expensive for the end customers. Customers usually talk about, यार नहीं मुझे तो ready possession ही लेना है, under construction में risk है. But then the value chain around the under construction prices vis-a-vis the ready possession prices, there's a stark difference. There's a growth that usually people are able to see as well. But then the narrative, if it shifts to only ready possession, the biggest problem that comes is this particular part, where there is no way that we will really be able to make the real estate affordable. And the second more important part, if as a real estate developer we end up making the home, we have not tested the ground, we do not know how the customers are responding to. For every project which is going to be a large campus, large compound, let's say 10 buildings coming one after other. Typically, every 6 months, we can keep rolling the next building. But in this case, 5 years we make the first building, next 5 years we make the second building, third will happen in the next. The scope of improvisation to learn the market shift, all those things will become more difficult. This will make the overall ecosystem and the whole project unviable, as well as very much expensive to the customers. But then you say that under construction should actually be banned. Now, by solving one problem, aren't you creating another? How do you look at this problem?
So that's a good argument. Okay,
Sure.
If you ban under construction sales of apartments, home prices will go up.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that rests on one key assumption.
Yeah.
Okay. Or two assumptions actually. That the builder's only source of funds should be lenders, and he should be able to take a position of 100 crores despite having only 10 crores in his pocket. I don't subscribe to that view. Why should you take such a big bet when you don't have the money? Start with one project, do it properly. The biggest factor that kills projects is not the customer, it's interest, it's debt. You have taken on a big amount of debt. The interest meter,
Yeah.
builders take 18%, builders give 18%, 20%, jo bhi hai. I'm putting the counter. Instead of doing 5 projects, do one, no, but do it properly, do it fast.
Now comes the counter onto the as a buyer, the whole argument is perfect. But as a business, when you are running it, more the scale, more the optimization on the cost you are able to do, right? If I do 5 projects together as a developer, though I'm not, but if I'm doing 5 projects together, the material that I buy, the agencies that I'm putting in together, all the licensing that I'm doing, every cost get mitigated. The benefit comes to the project as well in terms of the profitability, also to the cost to the customer. But when I do one project at a time, I cannot make it very viable. Again, the cost loading will happen only on one project. One. Second, you also said that if you have only 10 crore, don't launch a 100 crore project. That would mean that you are saying that the real estate for India as a developer should only be about the guys who have crores of money in their pocket. That means a new guy cannot or should not get a break. Isn't that how is it gonna be good for the consumer?
Govind, मुझे और तेरे को एक
Yeah.
गाड़ी की कंपनी शुरू करनी है.
Sure.
We want to compete with Maruti.
Fair.
Can we start it? Unlikely, right? But if you may have some skills that I don't have, but
Fair.
let's assume you and me don't have the capital, the know-how to actually start something to take on Maruti or Hyundai.
Yeah.
Why do we need so many builders? Yeah. Should we make I'm possibly saying the other extreme, that keep the barrier to entry so high. But today the barrier to entry is nothing.
Sure.
It's maybe better than what it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. But is it still good enough for an industry that is so important,
Yeah.
so valuable? When builders do one project and they are not sure whether it will sell at completion,
Yeah.
they will do a deeper dive into their research. What sort of market are we getting into? Like for car companies they do, right? Or TV companies.
True.
I have to design a hatchback. ये price पे जाएगा, इसका इतना space होना चाहिए, इतना hatchback. All those things you'll do, right?
Yeah.
यहाँ पे, because the guy can sell early, at the time of completion, there's nothing to do for him, right?
But Vishal, there's a counter argument I again will have. One part is when you are taking an example for automobile, there's a Bhavish Agrawal from India who's coming and who's saying that, hey, let me challenge the status quo. Or there's Elon Musk in America who came out with Tesla when for decades it's Ford and GM which were ruling the world. Then there's China coming in and suddenly realizing people last 2 years just woke up and realized, oh, we are already behind in front of China in the EV race. Now, these are the dynamics which keeps disrupting the market, creating great value for the customers. The moment the game becomes about a few set of players, there will be stagnancy, there will be arrogance, and there will also be a phenomena where the customer's requirement will not be heard, because at the end of the day, unlike an automobile industry, real estate is a pure hyper-local phenomena, driven by locations, driven by communities, driven by your commute, driven by the infrastructure that is coming in. When all that is happening, it's the local guys at times who sit with an insight, and that's the reason in India, if you'll see, the big guys who are trying to become pan-India in real estate, they're actually aiming to have JVs, if nothing for the land parcel, if nothing for the construction, if nothing for the licensing. And that is making the difference this time. If you'll see the wave 10 years back when our DLF or the big guys wanted to come to different cities, the problem that they stumbled upon, vis-a-vis the new kind of entries that are happening, which are actually forced on the relationship of JVs and local partnerships. This is to do with the insight about local understanding, isn't it?
So it is. So take the local understanding.
Fair.
Take the local understanding.
Yeah.
Use him as a partner if you want.
Okay.
But as a local understanding, Govind and Vishal know everything about the location. You know everything about Andheri East.
Sure.
Okay. Does that mean Govind should become a builder? No. But a builder, whoever's done this building of yours,
Yeah.
he comes to Govind. Boss, give me advice.
True.
Take his advice.
Yeah.
But that does not mean Govind has the entitlement to become a builder. We do not need to think about the small builder.
Yeah.
I'm very clear. We have to think about the small home buyer. Now, there are exceptions to it. Okay. Some of the best priced products
Yeah.
are by the local players, like Bandra Mein. There's one player who's selling at 1 lakh per square feet in a location which is not a seafront. Okay.
Got it.
He's a local specialist. His edge is, I'm creating a building fast, without debt.
Yeah.
Uska break-even will be 25% lower than his competition.
Got it.
Why can't we create that on a mass scale? There are two types of categories. One is the heavyweights.
Yeah.
Okay. One are the small guys who are well funded.
True that.
ये customer के पैसे से भी जीते हैं. You know, the problem is the industry has grown accustomed to a very bad habit.
Yeah.
250 industries खाते हैं home buyer से, पर end में मारते बस के हैं. Everybody home buyer से, home buyer से, home buyer से. Then look at his interest, no?
Agree.
Look at his interest.
Agree.
And we should be not ashamed to say that Mumbai's real estate industry or India's real estate industry should not have more than 100 builders.
Yeah.
We have too many builders. While I accept your points that houses may get expensive,
Yeah.
I'm looking at a different way.
True.
Imagine a big developer now, okay?
Of course.
What advantage does he have? Cost efficiency, I'll tell you. A big guy doing projects. He has leverage.
Yeah.
5 guys are bidding for land. Suddenly land values will remain modest.
Of course.
Instead of 25 builders approaching it. You will have better leverage with stakeholders, including the municipal corporation. Best bet for cost structure to come down
Yeah.
is by lesser players being there. There will be lesser competition for the supporting industries as a buyer.
Of course.
Government से इतना जो खर्चा है मत करना फिर.
Of course. I totally agree. And just like the last controversial question, I have another one for you because I know a certain viewpoint of yours where I've never concluded it into my head, but I wanted to ask you since I've got the opportunity. So, single word, brokers, real estate brokers. And somewhere in my conversation, I've always felt that you question the very existence at times in terms of the value. Is it correct? Or do you have what kind of a viewpoint do you really carry for brokers in general?
Brokers should not exist for the primary sales market. They are escorts. They are getting Govind and Vishal to the site. उसके बाद तो sales वाला संभालता है ना. How many times have you gone to a sales office?
Yeah.
I go many times as a walk-in.
Yeah.
Okay. And sometimes I go via a broker because I want to just get the experience.
True that.
He drops me to the site.
Yeah.
उसके बाद I have no idea where he's gone. His role is
Of course.
nothing.
Of course.
Secondary market, I agree with you.
Yeah.
That they have a role because they know the inventory and so on and so forth. It's a hyper local market.
Yeah.
For that, there is utility.
No, I agree there. One of the largest conversation I believe even we have been driving or we have had the conversation about is somewhere is a secondary market which in India is still dormant, can do a lot better. But because of certain value chain, logistics, profitability, unit economics, it is really ignored market where brokers can make the largest impact. They are chasing money and the top lines for their companies maybe. Where in a space where all I see, the largest conversation, I interact with the customers as well. I realize that one of the value chains that they enjoy engaging with brokers nowadays is to do with the passbacks, right? So I'm not saying that the value is not getting added, but I was thinking that what is the customer intention? So they realize that okay, 1%, 1.5% further discount onto whatever that they are getting. I believe it's not a bad insight for them to carry forward. But then the question is, till what time will this really sustain? Will there be anybody coming and breaking this and disrupting this model? So I'm looking forward to that. But
this point that you mentioned, so it's a very good point.
Yeah.
So brokers' utility, like you pointed out, is that passback scheme, na? And
Sure.
in some cities it's more notorious than others.
course.
NCR is heavenly in that, na? मतलब वहाँ पे तो passback is like legendary.
Of course. Now, with that, I come to a very important questions. इंडिया में एक एज अ होम बायर ना जब मैं घर खरीदने जाता हूँ मैं ये लाइफ में एक बार या 2 बार करता हूँ मैं 24/7 उसके अंदर इंगेज नहीं हूँ आई रियली फेल दैट देयर इज अ ह्यूज प्रॉब्लम विद रिगार्ड्स टू देम ट्राइंग टू फाइंड विच इज व्हाट इज द राइट होम व्हाट साइज व्हाट बजट शुड आई बाय इफ आई एम चूजिंग 1 or 2 कैन आई टॉक टू अ फ्यू सेट ऑफ डेवलपर्स people nearby or the customers nearby to understand क्या मैं सही investment कर रहा हूँ कि नहीं कर रहा हूँ. There's a huge dearth of that part of the narrative where I can do my thorough research of knowing the good and the bad, the right and the wrongs. How do we fill this gap? Do you believe this gap exists? And if yes, then how do we fill this gap?
So I think absolutely, Govind. There is, like, at the start I told you that there's a lot of data. Lot of data.
Sure.
Problem is information for a buyer to make decisions. Which is why people like me have the following that we do, is because people have looked at the data.
Yeah.
They don't find enough meat in it to make a decision.
True.
The solution, I think, is, can a platform be done which gives you qualitative information,
Sure.
which actually tells you things like, how's the building ready to live in?
Yeah.
Okay? Is it a good one? Do the amenities work well? How's the gentry?
True.
Is it good for ABC person? How many projects are places where the builder and buyers have a problem?
Yeah.
So all those things I think are necessary, and fortunately you asked.
Yeah.
I have a platform which is aiming to do that, wherein owners, tenants will give their experience of a project and a builder.
Okay.
Rather than a third party, a critic, right?
Yeah.
So each one is giving a view on their own living.
So as a customer, when I'm trying to search if that project is existing on your platform, I can find an understanding from the tenant and the owners both.
And you'll get, because tenant and owners pay, you'll get different feedback, because a tenant is more dispassionate than an owner.
Yeah.
Okay. So in my experience, I've noticed that an owner, even if he's very dissatisfied with the project,
Yeah.
वो public में जाके गाली नहीं देगा उसको.
Got
उसको
it.
लगता है कि property value will get hurt.
Understood.
So he'll suck it up.
Got it.
Okay. Tenant को क्या है? मैं 2 साल के लिए निकल रहा हूँ. ठीक है?
Okay.
He will be objective about the most luxurious project also ना. अरे हाँ वहाँ पे lift का speed कुछ ज़्यादा ही fast था.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the idea is that if Govind wants to know which building to buy in,
Yeah.
or which builder to take with,
Yeah.
that information, that experience
Yeah.
of an earlier buyer or a tenant who's lived in will be there to provide it to you. I think that is the missing piece in this entire information puzzle.
Superb. But tell me one thing. When typically I've always seen when a platform talks about reviews, is the negative which travels faster than the positive. So as a home buyer, when I'm going to look at this platform, will it add to my anxiety, or will it really solve my problem by trying to find the best of the balance from both the sides? How are you solving for this problem currently?
So this is one of the big concerns I have. It should not become a ranting platform.
Sure.
Okay. The challenge is that you ensure that the filters that are there
Yeah.
for someone, one, the key thing is you have to verify, is there actually a person there?
Okay.
I don't want it to be
A random person posting.
a random person, which is there in some other reviews where building का first slab बना नहीं है, but there's a review कि the views from the 60th floor are very good.
Right,
ठीक है?
okay, got
Those
it.
sort of fake reviews I want to avoid.
Got it.
I think eventually it will find its balance. People
Got
will
it.
give, they will rant.
Of
Okay?
course.
They will rant. The role of the platform is to ensure that the rant does not overshadow
Yeah.
what is otherwise a good, honest project.
Understood.
And my aim is very clear, Govind, this. Many people have a worry that it takes so much money to market, to brand yourself.
Yeah.
I want it to be the place where अगर गोविंद ने 2 projects भी किए ना,
True that.
but 2 good projects, he will have such goodwill through the platform than somebody who's done 50 projects and is a branded builder.
Got your point.
You have to incentivize people
Of course.
to give reviews, give honest reviews, and I'm slightly hawkish into whatever thing I do, so I'll monitor closely. That's the key thing.
I'm looking forward. We all are looking forward to the platform. What's the platform called?
BHK Voice on my own platform.
Okay. So BHK
Bedroom.
Voice is shaping into this.
Yes, BHK Voice,
Superb.
bedroom, hall, kitchen, a voice, and it's a common person's voice.
Superb.
You have a good experience, you have a bad experience, share it,
Of course.
and help others to
Looking
make the same
forward.
decision.
Brilliant. Looking forward, and I just hope it doesn't create too much of controversies. But
Controversy is good.
actually, okay.
Because most things shake up only with controversy.
Sure.
Okay. Right now, we are at the stage now where
Yeah.
I don't think there is any formal structured communication between the buyer or a prospective buyer and the industry. My idea is that the communication will open up,
Yeah.
and that will lead to a healthier industry.
Oh, superb. And when we're talking about healthier industry and controversies, I have a question planned for the same. Which is the biggest controversy in real estate ecosystem of India that really shook you? Like your expectations already are not that high, but for your grounds also it was a big shocker.
So I think the shocker was this recent episode that happened in the Vasai region, that fake RERA certifications that were there, because of which
Yeah.
builders got a fake RERA, they put up wrong details.
Yes.
On the back of that, lenders were there, buyers were there. So I don't see, the thing is, you think that you're closing a loop,
Yeah.
but you realize that that loop can be broken, right? I just hope that thing does not percolate into Mumbai or the bigger markets
Yeah.
that are there. It's a distant location which is not very glamorous, but I think it tells you that RERA needs to get even tighter.
Sure.
So I think that is one story which is quite a shocker. I
course.
did not expect that when RERA started,
Yeah.
that somebody could even create
Yeah.
an environment where you can get RERAs in a duplicitous manner. Because based on that, everybody takes a bet.
Of course, yes, of course. And when we're talking about RERA, what's your viewpoint on it? Means the promise it had at the start, are they doing justice to it? What's your buzz or the feeling or the vibe that you believe that the customers have around RERA? Do they feel secure? And with regards to the real estate developers, do you believe that they are more scared than what they were before? Where have we landed so far?
I think developers are a lot more vigilant now after RERA.
Of course.
So I think that's a good positive. RERA's biggest weakness is that its judgments are not easily enforceable.
Yeah.
Okay? It gets appealed by the builder. The typical
Yeah.
structure is what? Buyer files a case against the builder, RERA rules in favor of the buyer, the builder says, I'll take it forward.
Of course.
So I think it needs more teeth.
Okay.
But it's an improvement. It has to just keep up with the times, because there will always be loopholes. There
True
will
that.
always be somebody willing to, find a gap within.
Of course.
So improvement, but lot more to do.
Got it. And now comes a series of questions that I wanted to ask you. Your Instagram, I've seen, it's just blowing. Multiple videos in the real estate content doing 1 million views and above, and continuously, consistently. One thing that I wanted to extract in my podcast is one historical story of any state, city that you believe that it was very fascinating. Something that is worth sharing for our audience to know as well. One piece of nostalgia, one piece which really shaped up the way real estate industry shaped up because of some person, some narrative coming in. Which will be that story that you would love to share?
So, right now amidst, if you ask anybody what's been the biggest disruption in real estate,
Okay.
they will tell you GST, RERA, demonetization. For me, the biggest disruption is none of the three. It's what happened in 2012 in Mumbai
Okay.
by a BMC commissioner, Subodh Kumar.
Okay.
Okay. If you notice, the consolidation or the corporatization of real estate happened after that.
Okay.
Because before that, there was a regime which was mainly about FSI manipulation. वो environment था ना कि 600 square feet का घर था.
Yeah.
A builder used to tell the corporation 600 square feet का home, but go and tell Govind the buyer 1000 square feet का home. Why? 600 square feet ये, 400 square feet flower bed, balcony, etc.
Sure.
I was very surprised that he could pull it off, because in that gravy train,
Yeah.
there was so much money that was being made by this extra area,
Got it.
by everybody, that I was surprised that he pulled it off. But that has helped industry a lot. I think that time, if you
Okay.
talk to any builder,
Yeah.
he'll probably hate Mr. Subodh Kumar, okay, or he'll
Okay.
not like him. But that disruption he did.
It brought a lot of transparency to the
Everybody starts from zero. At that period, before 2012, if you notice, many of these bigger builders, they were getting out of the business because they were not able to compete, right?
Got it.
You had to do this manipulation. The smart guys, the honest guys didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So he is in a way a big contributor to the cleanliness of Mumbai real estate. People don't give him as much credit.
Yeah.
But he has played a bigger role than GST, demonetization, and RERA.
And when you talk about the cleanest part of the real estate of doing the right things, which two developers that you believe are doing it the most ethical way?
See, this is a tricky question.
Okay. I believe that's my role here.
So see, ethical ka, it's tough to say.
Okay.
I'll tell you the guys who
Whom
I
you
think,
like really regard that यार ठीक है मेरा पैसा होगा किसी को कंसल्ट करना है तो इनको बोला जा सकता है. I can trust them. There is a track record there. Who are these two?
so I like K. Raheja.
Okay.
K. Raheja Cop. There are quite a
Of
few
course.
Rahejas, but K. Raheja Cop I think is one of them for me. Two is I like a developer in Pune. Magarpatta city ka promoter, Satish Magar.
Yeah.
He has given me that vibe of, a lot of moral arrogance, that he's very arrogant about his morals.
Of course.
So I did a show with him, and what he told me, most builders, when you do a background check within 3 days, you can figure out.
Yeah.
For him, I delayed my interview publishing by 2 months.
And you couldn't figure
I
out.
couldn't find it only.
Wow.
Because I was finding it hard to believe. कुछ ना कुछ तो किया रहेगा, कुछ ना कुछ तो किया रहेगा. Now people say some connections of his with a prominent politician and all.
Yeah.
But what you can't verify, you cannot trust.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 months, Govind, I waited 2 months to find out what is that missing link that could be there. I couldn't find anything. So, so
No,
yeah.
he's a very respected individual, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and I think he's created real estate the way which can help India's transformation. That
Of
model,
course.
if he can replicate, it can help India's transformation.
No doubt. Like transforming the whole pin code at a time in a sort.
And livelihoods, na. Otherwise,
Yeah.
problem क्या है? मैं farmer land बेच देता हूँ.
True.
उसके बाद what do I do with the money? I'll buy a Fortuner. I'll buy a big whatever.
Of course.
Here, I become an entrepreneur. I'm making money continuously. I mean, I was surprised when one of the farmers told me he had 5,000 square feet of land. ठीक है?
Yeah.
And he gave it to that land pooling scheme of Magarpatta city where all farmers said, we'll not take money, give us equity shares and a
Yes.
share in the revenues. That guy has some 7 apartments in Magarpatta city. He got the mandate for doing door installation in all the apartments.
Wow.
So he's an entrepreneur. He's got so much wealth. That is true wealth creation.
Superb. But this story largely somewhere originated in India from the KP Singh story of DLF or what he did to Gurgaon and the whole village around there. When he couldn't really raise the money, went to the villagers, took all the support that he could. And I believe that's what made DLF as well. But Satish Magar's story...
DLF
the
is such an
insight.
interesting story. You know, Govind, it's a good thing you brought it up.
Yeah.
DLF was forced into Gurgaon, right?
Yeah.
Because the state nationalized real estate in Delhi.
Of course, yes.
But it didn't sulk.
Yeah.
It said, let's
It just
look at
found
the
a
next
new opportunity. Yeah. And created a case study of a different sort altogether. So, now with that, I wanted to come to a very fascinating thing that I always wanted to know, since most of the people call you a critique, which is one project that has really fascinated you. यार ये कैसे बना? और यार क्या बनाया है? Which is that project that you came across and you saw, witnessed, and you were like in love with it for the sheer audacity of how it is made, done, or the story behind it?
So, I like a building at Malabar Hill called Il Palazzo.
Okay.
Right at the top of the hill.
Mhm.
Okay. It built in the 70s. Okay. A by invitation project. Okay.
Okay.
Today, owners include guys like Rakesh Jhunjhunwala and his wife and all.
Okay.
Harsh Goenka, etc. Because for that time,
Yeah.
now when I look at the amenities, the layout, the grandeur, and by invitation, to take that sort of courage, to
Yeah.
build that quality that today, even 50 years later,
Yeah.
when I look at that building and I look at some of the neighboring buildings now, which
Yeah.
have come much later,
Yeah.
you cannot say which one came earlier. That's aged very well. Other thing, Samudra Mahal at Worli,
Okay.
okay, where I think it's probably the building with the most number of heavy corporates owning. So who all own apartments at Samudra Mahal?
Yeah.
Nandan Nilekani, Narayan Murthy,
Okay.
Anil Agarwal of Vedanta, Wadia of Bombay Dying, Jyotiraditya Scindia.
Okay.
And the audacity of this, I'll tell you what, it's a great story. Here, this was a plot that was actually owned by the Scindia family, the royal family of Gwalior. After independence, they had a big palace there. They sold some of it chunks. And they said, 70s, we'll build a building. Okay. You don't know whether at that point, Worli as we know today,
Yeah.
was really prime. Okay? Worli was beyond Haji Ali.
Of course.
Okay?
Yeah.
It was not prime as such. तो जिसका Pedder Road पे नहीं हो रहा था, Malabar पे नहीं हो रहा था, used to go there. Okay?
Got it.
For that time to sell a product of that scale,
Yeah.
that volume, the layout, the space, sea facing, phenomenal. Among the newer guys, you know, there's some names. There's a player called Ashford.
Yes.
I don't know who he is. I've never met him.
Yeah.
Okay. But that guy has taste.
Okay.
Okay. Each of his buildings, and I've seen three. Malabar Hill, Bridge Candy, and Lower Parel.
Yeah.
ऐसे लगता है ना कि उसने दिल से बनाया है. But he's done too few projects. So
I know.
if I was to guess what's his personality like, he would be a guy who doesn't care too much about money.
Okay.
Okay. He cares a lot about style, but
Yeah.
okay. He presumably does not have kids who are interested in the business.
Okay.
Otherwise, he would be land banking for them. He thinks I've attained it. Wherever I go,
Yeah.
I have to be the style quotient in a way. I don't know. When I look at the Ashford buildings and I try to picture how the builder would be, I get a sense that he would probably be the Feroz Khan of
The
real estate.
industry.
You know?
Yeah.
The other building, is a building in Navi Mumbai called Emerald
Yeah.
at Palm Beach Road.
Okay.
Again, I have no idea who the builder is. Okay.
Yeah.
Went in from a distance.
Yeah.
ठीक है. And then when I entered in, ऐसा लगता है कि उसने दिल से बनाया है.
Okay.
And you know,
Got it.
the people who make money, who make buildings with a heart, na,
Yeah.
you'll be surprised in India, which is a supply-starved market in terms of quality, they can charge obscene prices.
Of course, yes.
क्योंकि ऐसा कोई बनाता ही नहीं है.
No doubt about it.
His prices, I'm sure, will be 40-50% of his
Above.
neighboring building.
No, that's totally. And I've got to research about these people. And Ashford owner, let's try to catch up then.
Who
Let's
he
figure
is,
out.
I have no idea about
I
him.
guess I've met him, but will definitely now my interest is more to engage again. So with that, Vishal, now one of the important part that I wanted to ask you is, in terms of the disruption when you talked about from the legal framework point of view in 2012 that happened, is there any other disruption that you believe that has happened to this industry which has really shaped up the way the whole real estate ecosystem has shaped up today? If I have to tell that, what is that one disruption that really changed the dynamics of where we are today? Which will be that disruption all about?
I can't think of anything, Govind. In fact,
Yeah.
I've been waiting for a disruption to happen in sales and marketing.
And that will be what?
No, I'm waiting for something interesting that really changes the way sales and marketing is done.
Okay.
ठीक है. अभी तो sales and marketing, there's some digital part to it and
Yeah.
all, and which of course guys like you do very well. Otherwise, at the branding level, I think the last big innovation was using passcode and code name. So I think there has to be a better way of reaching a customer than the current spamming formula.
Which is largely solving for the problem where there's too much of content bombarding that is happening. Okay, understood.
So it's strangely, the disruption in real estate, it should have happened long before. I've still been waiting. Kab hoga, kab hoga, kab hoga. If a disruption, and if all the places, I will start opening my SMSs the day that disruption happens, because I've stopped looking at my SMSs because it's only builders ka.
Of course.
2 BHK at 1 crore.
60% market share of all the spam calls, all the messages, is real estate.
I think probably more in my case because I'm on those websites doing my thing.
Maybe.
But yeah, for a common person, utna to hoga.
Of course, it is. We take pride in that. Okay, so now with that, I wanted to ask you, so if you have to suggest our audiences in terms of the 3 locations that you believe in India where you can really park your money from pure investment point of view, which are those 3 locations going to be?
I think Indore is a worthy contender.
Hotbed, yes.
Okay. I think parts of Navi Mumbai are also.
Okay.
NCR, I find it too mysterious. Okay.
It is. No doubt about it.
I call NCR as the FNO market of Indian real estate.
Okay.
So, वहाँ पे you don't know what you'll get. Otherwise, intrinsically, it's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Just that there are enough players to screw it up. And Ahmedabad, I think.
Because of the Olympics now.
I think these are the markets that one can watch out for.
Superb. And a very fundamental questions, since a lot of real estate developers are always running away from you in a way, but when they meet you, it's different. What do you believe are the things that they're doing that they should not do? Or maybe the things that they're not doing, but they should?
So what they are not doing that they should learn to say sorry.
Okay.
Imagine, Govind, we are in a country
Yeah.
where 5 lakh crore worth of apartments are stuck.
Okay.
Yet, if today you go and Google India builder apologize,
Yeah.
you'll get 0 searches.
Okay. Okay.
You say, I'm sorry, boss. See, most buyers are looking at that comfort that the builder is regretting doing something that he should not have done.
Of course. Okay.
They, I think, walk in with a different thinking. I have to appear strong and, like a bull.
Understood.
That screws up things. And today, I think, the equation between a buyer and a builder is quite different. I think until 2014, 2015, there was a sort of a unwritten agreement between the buyer and the builder.
Yeah.
वो क्या था ये agreement? The builder used to tell the buyer in that agreement, कि I will probably delay the project.
Yeah.
I will give you a shitty product.
Yeah.
I will not give you the area that you were promised. But you keep quiet because home prices are rising.
Yeah.
तो buyer was like, ठीक है, compromise है, घर छोटा है, थोड़ा उसने fraud किया and all, पर पैसा बन रहा
पैसा
है.
बन जाएगा. Yeah.
Then what happened? Prices stopped rising. Then the buyer started saying, boss, तू quality नहीं दे रहा,
Yeah.
तू promise का size नहीं दे रहा,
Of
तू
course.
time पे नहीं दे रहा, and home prices not even rising.
Yeah.
Why should I take your shit?
Of course.
I think that agreement is where right now there is that tug of war going on. I hope home buyers come out on top, because that will be a good
They
change.
will. Now the market, the way it is, the way the whole ecosystem is evolving, I believe now it's time where it's going to be a bias-driven market, and the developers are also understanding that. There's a lot of effort towards adding the dialogue, which I personally have seen in the last 10 years when I started to now. I can definitely see there's a huge effort from the real estate side developers where they are.
मेरे को गोविंद जिस दिन
Yeah.
कोई बिल्डर तेरे को बोलेगा पब्लिक में ना,
Yeah.
सॉरी, लेट मी नो ऑन माय प्लेटफॉर्म आई पुट अ हेडलाइन.
I get it.
ठीक है.
Get it.
मींस आई फाइंड इट
Let's.
100 एकड़ का टाउनशिप है, अटका पड़ा है, मैं इसको बायर स्टक, बट आई विल नॉट से सॉरी.
Of course.
Which other industry does it happen?
No, I understand. I understand. No, this is something that's a great takeaway. And now coming to the last part, since this whole season is about, there's a conversations that we're going to be focusing about, and the last season was about technology. This season we have a portion only dedicated to it. What, according to you, has been the biggest disruption in technology that you have come across in the Indian real estate ecosystem point of view?
There's nothing.
Which company or which software maybe?
To be honest, there's nothing that really gets your jaw dropping, right?
Okay.
Earlier, people used to say, like somebody joked on some platform, ki, I think the promoter of one of the listing websites only, he said that in India, real estate technology means a listing website.
Got
So,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
So I think since then, there's been some progress and all, I'm sure. I keep
Yeah.
seeing the stuff that you do and your firm does. I've not seen the final version of what you
Yeah.
guys are up to, obviously, because it's a B2B
B2B
aspect.
ecosystem,
So
yeah.
I don't know about that. But at a B2C level,
Yeah.
if you really ask me, there's which big disruption I've seen in the tech space, I think that's waiting to happen. I'm waiting for somebody to do the sales and marketing. Yeah.
I
Sales
get
and
it.
marketing में disruption कर, मेरे को इतने phone calls नहीं चाहिए, इतने SMS नहीं चाहिए, बस I'll find my way.
This though, till the time government doesn't come out with a regulation, I don't think that's getting solved. If a few developers may take that approach of being non-intrusive, I believe there's a conversation going on for the branded players to get into a space where they're not intrusive to the customers. But overall, as an ecosystem, it will keep pushing the customers for the lead generation and trying to see if they are interested. Because that's the cheapest medium available. Marketing mat karo, cold calling karo, and see some person you're able to get. Because every call that you do, if and it ends up converting, you got to understand on the other side, there's a crore and above money sitting. So it is worth giving you a shot for a regular call.
So basically, buyer is that target. He has to इसको पूरा मुझे.
You can't change it. I don't think any technology can solve this problem. Like, on developer level it will happen, but fraternity level it cannot.
It cannot. So basically, I have to ensure that my SMS folder I never open it. If you're saying that.
Please make sure that you don't, because the spams are going to be there. But there are multiple interesting ways which are coming to reach out to the customers for sure, which will start taking up. People will realize, but it will be a little bit of a time away for sure. So, Vishal, with that, thanks a ton for giving me the first session, the first episode of my second season. And with that, I hope with the audiences as well, they have had an interesting learning graph in the last 1.5 hours of conversation that we have done. And I hope you enjoyed it as well.
I did, and thanks for giving me the entire reality check. I was always under the impression that many builders liked me. In the first 5 minutes, you actually busted that myth that most builders don't like me.
No, they don't like you. Rest assured about it. They are always naam aata aur kaan khade ho jate hain. That's one thing that is common. So,
But yeah, thank you for having me, and I look forward to seeing all the episodes in your podcast. They're all interesting characters that you get in.
Sure.
Okay, good luck.
Absolutely. Thanks a ton. And for all the audience watching, thanks a lot for watching this episode. This is the first of the second season. If you have not seen the last season, there are 15 episodes waiting for you to finish. And then there are infinity is our theme for this year. We will keep continuing this year with more and more interesting episodes. Thanks for watching. I hope you're liking the videos that we're producing at Sleepless Rangers for everything real estate. Please subscribe to the channel Sleepless Rangers and keep liking the videos. Looking forward to your support.